changing it to the Skull Hunter show, and we change our photo to us in clown outfits. Is for Rumble.
And by the way, this is a creative process, right? This is something that we're going to be doing for years and years and years.
We also know we're fucking idiots right now. I will hang a fucking Smurf. I don't give a fuck. So now we're definitely on Rumble. Hands over, and I'm over there twerking for Barack Obama. It's like it's gonna... I've been watching documentaries recently about like the poorest locations, or like locations that don't have like fresh foods and stuff like that. And in like towns that are like strictly vegan, I'm like, oh, come on, fucking, you have places like Canada, that's fantastic. And then you have places like Vegan Town. What the fuck? And then it's like, oh, well, it's about 2 blocks away from when the original McDonald's opened up. How about this? Get a fucking life town. Who wants to go to a town about fucking vegans? Welcome to the Scholar Podcast.
It sounds like freaking every time freaking My Little Pony freaking eats nothing but freaking grass and freaking hay-related food.
What?
They legit have burgers made out of hay in My Little Pony.
You know what? That makes sense, because they can't be like, oh, I'm eating Cousin Rick. So I guess that makes sense.
Now, which one of the, in My Little Pony, which one of the horses is the glue that holds the group together?
The main character.
Makes sense.
For those of you who didn't get the joke, okay. What was this Scholar Podcast? This podcast is brought to you by you, the people. I'm keeping that original intro, by the way. I was trying to think of a funny story that would end in a weird cliffhanger and then just start the episode, but this works too. Today it's the final countdown. Final countdown.
Operator.
That is true. So today it's a weird one because we thought we had Funker, but Funker decided to abandon us just like all of his children. So we will go on our own. But no, today I kind of wanted to talk about some of the upcoming stuff, since this is the last episode and this is probably what the title is going to be. And with me doing a sad face. And that's going to be the thumbnail. So, I hope I remember that. So, with that being stated, I just kind of wanted to go through of what's going to change with the show, how we're going to direct it, and maybe some quality differences. Charles, for audio reasons specifically, can you put the mic up to your, like close to your mouth and say, welcome to the Scholar Podcast?
Yes.
That is something you can look forward to later on. I love how I tell people instructions and then they immediately... Remember when we used to do mic tests, guys? Flash in the past, we used to do mic tests before every single time we've recorded. Now I do it secretly because I go, guys, let's do a mic test. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. And everyone will just go off of random shit. And I'm like, awesome, cool, thanks. And then they'll talk about fucking pedophiles and everything. I'm like, guys, I have to listen to this again. Not like we don't talk about it on the podcast.
Save that conversation for the episode.
Yeah, usually what happens. So now it's just like it's still a thing. Anytime I ask someone to repeat something, unless we're having a serious conversation, they will not do it, and it's amazing. But that's one of the things that's going to continue with the Scholar Podcast. Except Charles is going to have better audio. We're getting that situated. It starts out with a microphone. It's going to start off with an arm, and then it's going to start out with the camera, but baby steps. That's going to be the quality change. That's the only quality, because Scholar Podcast is quality already. With that, the only thing that's going to change is topics. We're going to have a schedule. We're going to have a proper topic list for the whole entire season that we're going to be doing the podcast on. There's only going to be a handful of episodes that's going to be like, hey, who fucking cares? Who knows? It's going to be called The Boys episode. We can't do it with the Z because now that's fucking taken. So we'll just like do something fun.
We can't also do it with the S.
Yeah,
we had to do with because of that Amazon Prime show, The Boys.
Yeah,
we're gonna have to do it with like the C or something. With the boik.
You know what? Title. That's what we're gonna have to do.
Well, one of the things that was always important to you about the show was that you wanted the show to be a chance for the boys to get together and chat, whether that was once per week, once every 2 weeks, once every 3 weeks, as per our pattern. And what I want is to do that every episode, but just not for the whole episode. So the opening of the episode, every 40 minutes with the boy should be good, and then we move into the other subject. So that part of it is always going to be a priority, and we're always going to have it. And what will change is that some episodes will be totally just with the boy, but for the most part, we're always going to want to check in with each other and have these conversations.
Mm-hmm. Definitely. And like that's one thing that leads me to always want to do the podcast is because unfortunately all of our lives gets busy and we don't have time to talk. Or my personal favorite is I read a message, go, I need to reply to that, and then get busy and then forget, and I leave people on read. And that's like the biggest problem. So having these like once a episode areas where I get to actually like chat and hang out with the boys, it's not for camera, it's because I haven't seen them. So that's something that we want to continue doing. The one thing with that being stated is we want to separate some stuff. So when we have like the boys for the 45 minute beginnings, or maybe 30 minutes, depends on our episode length, we want to then cut it out. So and then we can have 2 videos at once. And whenever we have those 2 videos, they're going to be the main episode that actually gets done. And then there's going to be those episodes that get kind of cut out that will connect the podcast together. But it will be, hey, let's say we were having a little game mode. Maybe we did Would You Rather. And if we did that, there's going to be a separate episode there for Would You Rather. And then there's going to be the boys conversation of whatever the clickbaitist title will be. So I think that will do the best. And then we are moving on to, so that's going to be kind of like the quality. Nothing's really going to change. We're not going to change the show layout like how we originally did it. It's just going to be more organized. So,
yeah. And also, YouTube made a change. I'm pretty sure this change was implemented throughout the course of this season, which is now you can formally call something a podcast on the show, which means that our full-length episodes can be slotted as the podcast. And then that way we can take these other cuts and just treat them as videos. So then that way we can put them more into the video space and then keep the podcast in the podcast space. So for people who would want to listen to the episode in full and don't want to have it kind of like semi-spoiled, we'll still be able to do that. We'll still be able to release the full episode so you get it exactly the way you've been used to it. It's just this is the game that we have to play, is that we have to realize that not everyone is going to give the show a chance if they're only going to have to experience the entirety of the content. And a lot of our most appealing stuff does happen in the second half because that's the events, that's the games, that's the challenges, that's the crazy shit that we get up to. So people don't want to sit through the opening conversation, and I get that. I've never personally, I never liked that game. I'm ready to play it because of my confidence in what we're doing here. I feel like this is like what, our 7th season? I don't really know because our numbers have been kind of in flux, but we're somewhere in like the 6th or 7th season range, and we have just built up our chemistry. We've built up a rapport, and I, for one, am passionate now about us getting this show out into a larger audience. So I, for one, feel that we're definitely ready. You know, there's always going to be more to learn. There's always going to be mistakes in need of correction, but I'm willing to just put up with something that historically has always really irritated me about the YouTube sphere. I'm looking forward to that.
Yeah, and I'm looking forward to it too. And the biggest things that I know we'll have to get done is the shorts. That I know that's how some of you guys got here, is because for right now we have this issue. And whenever we release a nice little short, it's not what we want. And the shorts take a lot of time to create. I know a lot of you are just saying, hey, put it into an AI generator. There's tons of them for free. Put it in there. It'll clip out the best ones. And that is true, and they do work. The problem is as a majority vote kind of mindset is some of us don't mind. Some of us just like, let's get the fuck out. And then some of us are like, hey, it cuts off halfway, or it's focusing on someone it doesn't need to be focusing on. And there could be better edits done to the clip, but because they don't give you those tools to kind of fix it, they just go, here it is, take it or leave it. And it's easier to say take it or leave it, and we will kind of work with that, but we also don't want to put out quantity over quality. Our whole goal has been to, if it's not the quality, we don't put it out. So that's been our whole mindset. We still want to make sure anything we put out is good quality. With that also kind of being stated though, we also know we're we're fucking idiots right now. We're not in the short space. We're not in the TikTok space. We need to make it happen. So right now we're at this point where we need quality over quantity, but we got no quantity. So we need to fix that. We're going to be trying to fixing it as this video is being recorded. We are going to be trying to fix that as well. And then I think the last biggest thing that's going to be changing is possible live podcasts. We average decent views all considered, and I don't know how we even get 2 listeners. And the fact that our episodes are averaging about 10 listeners.
Yeah, because it's not us.
No, it's like I counted. I'm over here going my mom, my dad, you, Joseph, me, maybe Funker. We have 3 people still. We still have 3 people that are listening to us. And I don't know why, but I appreciate it. And it's not just click on, click off. It's at least 30 minutes in. So greatly appreciate you guys. But with that kind of being stated, we could do some lives. And even if no one steps in the middle of the live stream, they won't be an every episode thing. Maybe let's say it's 4th of July and we all got nothing to do. Why not kick on a live stream? Hey, I went to Canada to see Joseph. Hey, let's kick on a live stream. There's so much that we could just do with just saying, hey, let's just go live. Let's just do it. So maybe if we have those times, we might do it. We might even get you guys in on maybe a little Wednesday surprise. Doubtful, because that's our boys' night. But who knows? It can get spicy, and we're like, hey, let's take off our shirts. Let's do something. We don't support nudity unless it's on Pornhub.
I've always been more of an X and XX.com kind of guy, but
not true. Once again, we're all growing, guys. we're all growing. But those are kind of the main sources of where we're going to be going. The quality is just going to get better. Our more reach is going to be coming, and most importantly, the fucking scheduling feature on TikTok finally works on computer. So that's already great, because that's been the hardest part is scheduling a post on TikTok. They don't give you that on the mobile, but on the computer, they do give it to you. It's broken as shit, but at least there's a way to get it scheduled. So if I'm out saving lives because I'm a hero, they can at least be posted. I'm like, trying to get them posted, hurry up. So there's that still. No matter what, we have YouTube Shorts, so no excuses on my end. We're going to do better. But with that being all stated, I don't think I'm missing any updates that we can at least say that's going to happen. Oh, the intro is going to change. We're going to change the intro. We're going to possibly change the music, but we're going to change the intro.
I like our track.
I like it too.
Yeah, I like it. I feel like it's the right fit for the show. Okay, so I wasn't keen on going over this, but seeing as we're having this conversation, I might as well. I'm gonna go talk about what did I put on the list. So, and I'm happy we're talking about it. By the way, this isn't out of regret. I was just I'm wondering if we're gonna we're gonna dig into the behind the scenes stuff. So one of the things that's gonna change is that we are gonna record on Zoom going forward, at least until I've tested the waters on some different recording software, because I personally. I love Zoom. That piece of software, it's it's hosted by the very core of the earth. It is the most reliable piece of software I have ever encountered in my life. It saves things that I wouldn't expect it to save. It lacks that finesse that you get from the more prestigious podcast recording stuff like Riverside. But in my experience, having recorded a bunch of stuff on Riverside for clients, every 5 episodes, if I'm lucky, there's some kind of technical hurdle. Firewalls are up, browsers aren't updated, microphones don't interface with it. There was one recording where my controls quite literally disappeared, and I was just sitting there going what the fuck did I do? And I'm panicking, trying to get to customer service in time, just trying to resolve the issue. So I'm not sold on browser-based recording software, because I think there was a lot that can go wrong. But on a technical level, Zoom has not fucked up once in over 500 recordings that I have done. So for that reason, on the safety's sake, and also just because I use Zoom for a bunch of my other client stuff too, we're going to be recording on Zoom. What we're also going to do is going to be kind of cool is that the video does record natively, but Jordan would actually be able to have a different interface. So he would be able to do gallery view. I would probably be able to do a different view. Fingers crossed, we'll test this out. And so he would actually be able to record different footage while I'm recording different footage on my end, and we would have just as much to edit with. And I also feel that too, it would also give you the means to record your own stuff natively too. I could record the video on my end, and everybody can record their own stuff. And so we would actually have like a lot of stuff to work with. Now, the one thing that I realize as I'm saying this sentence out loud is that whoever hosts the call might set up the view for everybody. So I don't know if you on your end can change the view. We'd have to test that. Hopefully we can, but if not, whatever. We'll still make it work. We have lots of software at our disposal. So that's going to be a key thing is Zoom. And I'm actually as a side note, I'm happy to state to the audience that having been a media producer for 10 years, I've built up a lot of experience with it. And I have Jordan and the group here to thank for helping me keep my game elevated, because I just didn't have someone that I can trust to show me what do I need to learn and what do I not need to learn. And so I really feel like I've gotten a lot better thanks to this show. And so I registered a new website. It's conjure.media. It's not up yet, nor will it be at the time of this release, but I'm going ahead with taking my media expertise and making something more of like a formal agency for it to help more businesses figure out their media game plan, because every business in the world needs media. So if you don't have media, come get some, right? And I'll work out a game plan with you. So that's going to change. And until I'm satisfied with a different piece of recording software that is as secure as Zoom, because for me, security is numero uno. I will sacrifice sound or video quality for safety. So if it's as secure, and number two, if it actually does look and sound better, then we would switch to that one. We're going to redo the intro because we've had James in the intro for 2 seasons now, and we haven't seen James for 3 seasons, whereas Funker's been here for 2.5 seasons, and he should be in the intro. I did think it'd be kind of a fun tradition is that if, for instance, Funker can't make it to recordings, because unfortunately we have missed out on him in quite a few recordings, and if he can't make it consistently, then we would actually replace the footage with Funker and have a new fourth seater until that fourth seater can't make it, and then we replace with that person. So this is part of like your structure comes to you in time, is like identify what are the fun things that are happening, and make that part of your personality. So we're going to do that. Internally, this has nothing to do with the audience, but I think it's going to be cool anyways, is that our Discord is somewhat discordant. So we're going to actually be a little bit better with like, we're going to have an episode channel. So it's like, okay, this next episode, this is our themes. So if you have links for something, if there's clips that you're going to want to show, here's the questions that we're going to ask. So we're going to be very well prepared for it. And then it's also going to serve us after the fact too. So we'll have the thumbnails, the description, all of that will be on it. So we can have a transparency about all aspects of the creative process. But I'm not going to delve too much into that because that has nothing to do with the audience. You're not going to see that. Let's see. So we're going to also get on Rumble, because Rumble is, in terms of humor, I feel like our humor, it really suits kind of that like rebel conservative style, because I know I'm going to make some enemies here, but there's people that I call the rebel right, where like they do lean a little bit conservative, but they have a sense of humor to them. And a lot of these people have gone on to Rumble because they were just too funny for YouTube. And I feel like sooner or later YouTube is going to kick us off. So as a safety procedure, but also because I really want to reach out to that kind of audience, I feel like Rumble is going to be the way to go for us. So we will be on Rumble. The big thing, the rest of this is just format stuff, which is something that we've already talked about. But the big question that I wanted to pose to everybody is whether or not we want to continue calling it the Skull Hunter Podcast, or if we are going to remove the podcast and really make this more into the mainline show that is associated with the Skull Hunter brand, to the point where we start calling us Skull Hunters. there's positives and negatives to both, and this is not my decision because this, Jordan, is your brand, it's your baby.
Yeah, it's mine, bitches.
I think this is an important conversation, is because podcasts are a listener's medium. We are a mix. We obviously want to service our listeners, but we also service our viewers. We're going to continue to use the visual aspect. We've already integrated visual aspects somewhat with our tier list, with our AI episode, with our video clips. So as we go on, we're going to be relying on video more. And so we are slowly morphing more into a show and less of a podcast. And I think it's just important to consider whether it might be healthier for us in the long run to formally say, we're Skull Hunters. You can get on a podcast, but there's some. This is what I've just observed about our structure and whether or not we're being truly truthful with it. If we stick to podcast, sure, it's going to be fine, right? No one's getting hurt, but I just wanted to bring it up because of the way the brand has evolved, and our ability to service the audience, I think, comes from where do we position this in the market? That's a really important question that we have to have a conversation about.
You know, without going into too much details, because all in all, we're still keeping retention. So without going into too many details, I actually agree with you. And here are the reasons why I think changing it to the Skull Hunter show and we change our photo to us in clown outfits is for Rumble. So no, we're going to dress up as the Twin Towers. No.
That.
Okay. Well, so that's for the retention, right?
No, the real ones are gonna be like, okay, I'm in. The ones who are like, hold up, they're gone. They're gonna find us in Rumble. So I think changing it to the show makes more sense. And the reason why I actually do say that is because, like Joseph brought up, is we've done a lot of things that is like visual purposes. And you can listen to us. We do get audio listeners on Spotify. Once again, you guys are fucking weird, and we love you for it. But we get listeners, and that's fine. We get viewers, that's fine. It's all about entertaining you. So if we still uploaded the audio podcasts onto those platforms and gave the people over there what they want, that is great. And if we were able to make it to where we have our show and we had the podcast, we had the show, that's great. It's two separate things. But I feel like we implemented more into the show. And for the listeners, for those who may not know, we did the AI show that was very, very fucking entertaining. I only got 20 minutes in and I had to stop because I really, really wanted to watch it. And it will be out here at the time you're watching this. It's already out. Go watch it. We have the ones where we've created commercials for products that I would love to do again. That's not audio. And that's why that's why I haven't personally brought it up again, because it's not audio. And then for you to get the actual one to watch it, you have to go to the video world. Yes, that's a way to get retention, but there's also a way to lose retention because you're talking about a show that you have to make someone leave the fucking platform to go watch. That's literally rule number one. Make it open to everyone. So at that rate, it's a show. We are the Skull Hunter show. Or maybe the Freak Show. I still don't know. Rumble's coming up. So this is a show. This is a show that we are producing to give to you something to be entertained by. So all in all, with all the future plans that we want to do, I think it honestly makes most sense to turn this into the Skull Hunter show. That sounds very weird to say, but I am dyslexic as a motherfucker. We are the Skull Hunters. A Skull Hunter is not what you claim to be, it's what you are. And we are Skull Hunters. Except when you look at us on the AI episode, and then we are something else. But, that needs to be the fucking...
Oh, yeah, in that one, we're the Skull Hunted.
We look like we were running from something. But no, I think that is right. After this, for the upcoming season, this will be... The title of everything will change to the Skull Hunter show. That will probably be the title of the upcoming new episode.
I'm going to push more towards Skull Hunters personally.
Oh, just Skull Hunters?
Yeah. Okay. I didn't want to swap podcast for show. I just wanted it to be the most succinct that we can make it.
No, that I think that worked. The Skull Hunters.
Yeah. And by the way, this is a creative process, right? This is something that we're going to be doing for years and years and years. A couple years go by, really, guys, this was a mistake. we get off Rumble, and we go on to Odyssey or something like that, and we go back to calling it the podcast again. It's a lesson learned, but one thing that I'm personally proud of is my observational skills. Is just paying attention to what something is, and then calling it that. So it's not like I had an agenda and says, "Okay, I want this to transform into a show." It's just what we've been doing. So let's just make it official. Let's break that seal.
Yeah, I mean it's 2024. We can identify what we want. Go ahead, Charles.
I was just gonna ask if that when Joseph's editing this, if he could edit in when Jordan was saying that like you're here and everything. I was gonna ask if Joseph could make an edit of like freaking, and they say that a hero can save us, but freaking like do it like make it like epic and something. Freaking, I don't know, freaking.
I can't wait for an edit him to cut in, and he just goes no, and then he continues.
Charles, is that Hans Zimmer playing in your background?
No, that's my girlfriend. That's my fiance playing Minecraft.
Okay, because it sounded like that Hans Zimmer thing from Interstellar. Dun, dun, dun,
Yeah,
dun,
no, it did kind of sound like that.
dun, dun.
So with that kind of music, is there any other on your list? Is there anything else that you wanted to kind of be open and public about with the updates of the Skull Hunters?
I have a note here about redoing the show layout. And I wanted to make a point of, just for the fun of it, change the layout every season for better or for worse. Just like, you know what I mean? Just to keep it interesting. Always kind of challenge ourselves in different ways. Like there was one season where we had the different monitors laid out, and I thought that was really cool. We sort of stopped doing that out of laziness, but also like I just wanted everyone to be kind of on even terms, even if we were not with even tech. So it was funny. It was cool, and I want us to be inspired to do cool stuff like that in the future. But I also don't want us to ever stick to something. I really like the idea of using each season as a chance to just throw a new set of ideas to the wall. So that's on it. The one thing that I also guess it would be kind of fun to just go through as a list here. So the different like events, which is the third part or second part of each episode. So these events, there are games or challenges or themes or whatever. So here's everything that I have on the event list so far. Ooh. 2 Truths and a Lie, Hot Ones, Ask AI. Some of these we've done, some of these we haven't, by the way. Craigslist, which we haven't done a Craigslist thing yet, but we're going to figure out how to make Craigslist fun for this. Well, Craigslist is very easy to figure out how to make it fun if you know what you're looking. But, for the show, we have to figure out a tech roundtable, like very much specific, like us talking about technology or producer stuff. So like a producer's roundtable. I have Pure Chaos, which I don't. Okay. Smash or Pass, Tier List, reviews, and therapy. So those are all the ones that I have written on the list. Did any other things?
Isn't therapy we can just basically our guys night where we can just yell and scream at each other if we wanted to because we're pissed off in the game, freaking, when then we're just fine afterwards?
For you?
Yeah.
I mean, therapy's different for everyone.
Tick.
Man, I just love Charles's therapy just blasting me in the fucking face. Well, no, shoot me in the back is more like it. So for the event topics, all those sound like, as the audience might know, we did do some of those. The Hot Ones is still going down as one of my favorite episodes we've done, and it was because we brought a guest in with our torture. That wasn't planned at first. Last minute, he said, I got those. I can do those. And I went, oh, fuck, really? And then we did it. So it was fun. I have some people in mind to maybe invite on to do it as well, just because I think their reactions would be great. And as we did kind of a questionnaire thing, kind of like what Hot Ones do. But honestly, like when it's all said and done, I think event lists, we could do so much more, turn it into and more seeing it more as a show. So we can do more visual activities. We could do one where we're playing Hangman. Maybe not Hangman because copyright reasons.
No,
But yeah, we can do things
yeah,
like
kind of racist. Okay, so
Yeah.
that'll be a Rumble exclusive.
I mean, it is a black fucking stick figure. Just say it. No one ever called that out. Anyways,
What else could you do? It's on white paper.
a blue pen. I will hang a fucking Smurf. I don't give a fuck. So now we're definitely on Rumble. So but we could do stuff like that with having it more the idea of we're entertaining, we're being a show, we're not being a gaming channel, we're not being that, but we can sit there and do things like a hangman. We could do a tier list without having to worry about too much. We could do little product reviews, not a tier list, but an actual like little review thing. We could grab one thing that we buy, like maybe I give everyone $10 to spend on Temu, and you buy everything on, you buy what you can on. $10 is a lot on Temu. So let's say I sit there, give everyone $10, and they go spend it on stuff on Temu, and then we open it up and review it here. That is a great idea. Like, that is something that people have done already for videos. We would just be following the trend with the show. And we could do things like that. Halloween time, we could try candies and stuff like that. Not specifically Halloween themed, but we can try it. We can rank them. We can do all that fun stuff. So there are so many event ideas that we can do here in the near future that I'm excited for. I really am. That's the kind of stuff that I want to do. Me and Joseph had a conversation about this about a year ago now. And we brought up Good Mythical Morning. And we brought it up because that was not the exact idea of what we wanted the show to be, but that was a good, like, let's get on the train. Let's see where doing something like that could take us. And it kind of led us into doing the hot ones and doing these little stuff. And they've been great. They've been great. The flail fish that only one person did, that was all right. I just think everyone did it but me. It's just everyone took a little bit of time to do it. And then I just went, the week's over. I'm done. I'm buying a filet of fish to do my joke. But Pepsi, I did it all in 5 minutes, and then I loved it. So, but the event stuff, I mean, those are great ideas we could do. And once we get the list all figured out, we're going to write them all down. So whenever we do our podcast, when we do our Skull Hunters show, I'm just going to call it a show for episode. Thank you.
Episode.
We then have it figured out what we're going to do, how we're going to do it. And we would do it on Zoom. That I'm glad Joseph actually mentioned it because we were going to move over to Zoom. A lot of people don't even give a fuck where we are. But right now, I'm in 720p because Discord caps me at my quality. I can move over to Zoom and I can have it at 1080 for 60 FPS. Yes, I have to pay a monthly subscription. I don't give a fuck. I pay Nitro right now and I get none of that. So Discord, fix your shit, please and thank you.
I'm already paying for the Zoom subscription, by the way.
But then if I host something, unless if I'm logged into yours, I have to be, I have to have it.
Okay. Well, yeah. Well, because I was also thinking that you would just like record yourself natively on OBS and then just share the footage with me afterwards.
That is possible too. But yeah, that's like later on. Those are tech meetings. But yeah, I mean, for the podcast, that's kind of where the future of it's going to be going. I know we pretty much, whatever audience we have at this point, thank you for continuing, but that's kind of where we are at with the podcast. Is there anything else like in the future of where this is going you want to bring up?
Calling a podcast. I'm not going to.
God damn it!
I don't care. We're still gonna be calling it podcast like 5 seasons from now. I'm not gonna stress over it. But I just wanted to also share in what would be like my pie in the sky vision for it. Mm-hmm. And one thing's for sure is that I wish we were recording this show together in person in a studio. That's what I want to work towards because I want my vision is somewhere between Good Mythical Morning and the Eric Andre show. Mm-hmm. I just want a lot of that chaos and a lot of that uncertainty for the events that take place on it to come to life. So that to me is what I'm working towards with this, is that I want us to really put together something that is just pure entertainment.
Same. That's something I've always wanted to do. I've always wanted to do podcasts in person or shows in person. And the reason is just because there's so much that can happen. And just the comedic entertainment of someone who's playing with the zoom in camera, just that little bit of entertainment can go a long way. What if I go off camera, someone cuts to me, and I'm over there literally twerking my ass off like a fucking chica? it's gonna be funny just randomly, just as they're talking about how 9/12 was great, and then he pans over and I'm over there twerking for Barack Obama. It's like comedic genius. So it's something I've always wanted. Plus, this is an idea for a podcast that I probably someone already done, is having a bar set up. Now, obviously, a lot of us don't drink, so you don't have to drink, but having like a bar set up where you're sitting at the bar stools, when you have guests and stuff like that on, you have that person there. And then each episode, someone is the bartender. And so each episode, someone's always like cleaning a glass or whatever behind the bar, talking. The cameras are facing the opposite directions and it actually looks like you're in a bar. And then it's like whenever it's like games or whatever, you move to the booth, and then you move to the booth, and then you do the games and stuff there, and you have TVs and stuff. I think that setting is such a cool environment. And the reason why I've always liked the bar idea is because the bar is where people usually go to relieve their stress, get rid of their problems, and hang out with the friends, hang out with the guys. And that's always been what I've wanted. I don't support drinking a lot of alcohol. I don't support doing drugs. But what I do support is do what you can to relieve your stress and have a good time. And some people, a bar playing some pool and stuff is the way they do it. So I've always liked the idea as a set. Maybe in 5 years, whenever I can upload more than 3 times a year, we can get there.
Wow, Mr. Consistent over here.
Dude, it's been so annoying. By the way, a bunch of the people I know have been succeeded, and I greatly think it's awesome. And a lot of them have been thanking me for the reason why. They're like, everything you taught me and everything you gave me with advice and then how to do this, and I've been doing this, and we have like 10,000 subscribers now and getting over 2,000 views a video. It's just been great. Thank you so much. I'm like,
Just to clarify, by the way, I'm saying that because like you're still more consistent than my output, but I haven't had a proper like contemporary PC in almost 20 years. Right? Like the laptop that I bought was supposed to be it, but then it just and then and I'm just doing this at different intervals because it usually peaks, so I'm just making sure that I get it in this time.
That's also every single time his laptop just stopped.
Yeah, 7 times.
7 times. His laptop just stopped. Go ahead.
I know I'm just doing my own thing and I'm doing all right with it and everything when it comes to my YouTube channel, but sometimes I wish I could be getting what some of those other people are getting half the time.
Well, if you listen to my masterclass over on YouTube, I don't have a masterclass, but if you listen to some of the advice I give you, I guarantee you'll get there because you're uploading every single fucking day because you're being consistent. I'm not, but that's really what I teach is consistency, entertainment, how to keep retention, doing all that, thumbnails, titles, stuff like that. And it's getting people to make it. There's one guy I specifically know that I don't want to call out the name with because I feel like I'm not the reason he succeeded. It's him 100%, but there's a guy who just hit 50,000. Yeah, he sent me a photo. He's hit 50,000 subscribers a couple of days ago. And he was like, dude, without you helping me with my streaming, it would have never happened. And he thanked me so much for it and showing him how to do the shorts. And I'm like, it's so fucking awesome. And I'm like, I know the secret sauce to succeed and I'm not fucking doing it. Like, that's probably the worst thing when you know what you have to do and you found the thing that's working and you can't fucking do it.
This your way of doing it's better than how some of the big dog YouTubers did it. Freaking.
Don't worry, we're having our hot tub podcast soon. Don't worry. We'll all just get shirtless, buy a little bikini top, stuff it for some of us, and then boom, there we go.
I may be talked into a One Piece, but I just really want to emphasize the may.
It doesn't sound like a may. It sounds like if someone gave it to you, you're like, it would be funny. It might not stay on, but it might be funny. I would do that.
Not gonna stay on. It's gotta come off sooner or later.
Oh!
Well, it gotta come off. I gotta
come off.
Shit, right?
Gotta come off on camera. OnlyFans. So who knows? That could happen. Actually, I do want to do that one day. I do want to do a hot tub stream or like a little pool party stream. I have everything set up so I can just move it all outside. The only problem is I don't want people to know where I am. So I'm like, I can move it all outside. And then immediately everyone just knows where I am. I'm gonna have to go to like.
I just picture like 12 minutes into a hot dog stream, someone just runs over the picket fence in the background. That's what
Jordan is out here saying he's gonna dox himself.
I've almost done it before. I did do it. I did it on stream once by total accident. We were looking at Amazon. I had one of those incognito tabs up, and I kept using it to go on Amazon and stuff like that. Well, I drag it over from one browser to the other, and the one time I didn't fully swipe up on it, and I was just going through it. I was like, dude, yeah, if we add to the cart, how much would it be? And I was like, oh, dude, that's crazy. And I kept using that browser thinking it was my incognito browser, and it wasn't. I docked myself for a solid fucking 20 minutes. And you would think, oh, your fans are nice. My fans are. The people I play with aren't. The people are like, oh, you're a fucking piece of shit doing. Oh, your address. You don't say. Luckily, most people immediately go, oh, most people go, oh, it's their fucking Dropbox or the fucking mailbox or something like that. No, I had my whole entire address. I've never deleted a stream so quick after recording because I was like, I can't let this exist. I cannot let this fucking exist. Now, grant you, I have everyone's address. Like Charles had just got 20 minutes ago. His is 812. Just start having people show up to his fucking door. Oh God.
You have my apartment's address.
I do.
You don't have my new address in Ajax.
Give it to me.
I will give it to you, but you have to purchase this porn VHS that I have not been able to. They will not respond to my emails. They're not shipping it here. So if you were willing to buy this VHS for me,
send it. Okay. If I want this, man, what a video that has to be blurred the whole time. Guys, today I hunted down my best friend's VHS porn tape. And there's me going into fucking sex shops doing this, and the only thing you see is me blurred out, just walking through it. And then it's just like, guys, we found it. Here it is. And it's just blurred the whole time. I can post it on Rumble. Dude, I can post it. Dude, I want to do this now and post it on Pornhub and see how many views it gets.
I don't think Dan Bongino would like the having a porn posted on his website, so I think we have to skip that. But I like where your head's at.
Pornhub. That kind of sounds fire. I do want to. I want to post something on Pornhub once. I keep forgetting you can't say the P word, so I have to remember when I edit this to cut it all out. To beep it. But yeah, so I want to see what happens if I put a random video on Pornhub. I should do the Pepsi ad. Since it got demonetized everywhere else, we should probably put it up on there. Can a Pornhub video get like blocked?
Blocked how? By the user?
No, like how like you can't show nudity on YouTube. Okay. Do you think there's a way to get a video blocked on like Pornhub?
Yeah, there's a lot that you can do that you get blocked on. Yeah. I'm not going into specifics because we're still just on YouTube.
Wow, I'm so dumb. I was literally like, I don't know if there's actually a way, and then I immediately thought of.
I can violate the terms of it.
I thought about 18 ways to do it.
Yeah.
I'm still trying to figure my head around the fact
I agree.
that
You
Pepsi
definitely don't want
got
to think of anything less than 18 ways to do it. Make sure it's 18 or more.
13 and plus. What were you saying, Charles? I interrupted you.
I was just trying to wrap my head around how you in the Pepsi ad that you did freaking got demonetized.
No joke. It was me saying the word abandonment.
Seriously?
I'm not joking. It got age restricted so quick, and I tried to upload it on a different a different channel. I tried uploading on Skull Hunter games, and it got age restricted again. And I was like, "What was it?" So after a few emails with YouTube, I can't pull them up because if I do, it's gonna pop up on the screen and ruin the edit. So I'm not gonna do it. But they said it was because I was talking about abandonment and making fun of it. So
yeah, what a bunch of bitches.
That's what I'm saying.
Like
we're all only on YouTube.
Like, really, that's the thing.
Yeah, I talked about abandonment, and they're like, no. But I literally said in that same video, I was abused by my stepfather.
Is that the same one that I did the Fishline review? Because my rating for Fishline was hate crime. I don't know how hate crime survived, but abandonment didn't.
I don't know. Did you ever post the review on like an actual social media platform separate?
No, that was a Skull Hunter exclusive.
Dude, I need to go back and just upload that specific video up on Skull Hunter.
Do whatever makes you happy with it.
Dude,
By the way,
that's awesome.
I stuck to it. By the way, I'm still playing that fucking game.
What?
Yeah, because I have 2 more fish left before I win the prize, and they keep extending it, but they realize how long this takes. So this extension is you've been a great customer. Here's 80 more days to feed these last 2 fish. Now, I will say I think I've been getting more discount offers because of my participation. So they are actually like kind of rewarding you on the way a little bit. So it hasn't been a waste of time or anything like that. But I stuck to my guns. I'm still playing. I'm playing this Fishland to the bitter end. So
That is
I'll see.
crazy.
Yeah, because it's almost $100 in coupon value to get all the prizes. $100 on Temu. $100 on Temu. They discount things like crazy, and the reason why it's discounted is because it's subsidized by prison labor. Prison labor. So I had to. I am who with my impeccable moral compass. I had to think about this while I was on the bus home, going, so do I or do I not want to support prison labor? Well, I guess I would rather the prisoners have jobs, so I guess I'm gonna just go ahead and keep supporting prison labor. What can I do? Like, what can we do? Clothes, our phones, everything is slavery or prison labor. What do we do? I don't know. Like if you just think about how much like third world child labor that goes into basically any communications or sporting events, food, all of it. If you actually look at how the involvement of and how we take advantage of third world countries, the most immoral thing you can do is actually pornography, because you actually just have consenting adults having sex on camera. And yes, I emphasize consenting adults. If you don't have that, it's not pornography. It's statutory prostitution or like light rape. So that's not it, right? It is actually more moral to just depict having sex on camera. That's where we're at. That's where we're at.
You're not wrong. That's why I'm not arguing with you. You're not wrong. Then we got fucking Rumble, where everyone just goes, nope, this is a new normal. Yep, this is right.
Okay, so a primary goal for us to eventually be able to record this on stage in person. Secondary goal, I got a phone call from Dan Bongino directly. What the fuck you do to my platform?
Little life goals. Honestly, no joke. I think we're definitely gonna do the Temu episode. I just think it'll be great.
By the way, before I forget, Charles. So one thing that I wanted to suggest you for your content is I really feel like I would watch your content more if you were commenting on your clips. So if there were just like a little mini Charles in the corner just talking about what we see. The thing that I find most entertaining about you, Charles, is just listening to you talk, because it's just your natural cadence and your rhythm, and it's just funny to hear your point of view on what's going on. So I think having like you on screen would really make that difference. So that's what I would like to see you do. I'm gonna leave it at that.
Trust me, if I could, freaking, you would see me freaking like doing what a lot of people do when they upload like videos of like gameplay, freaking when they're talking about random shit when they're playing a video game.
Well,
I'm glad that at least with my wrestling videos, you can hear me commentate over shit.
see, and that's why I don't watch your videos, because I don't watch wrestling stuff. Like but that's just one of the type of videos you do. I watch like your clips of like Call of Duty, Fortnite, but that's the same thing that I'm with Joseph with. And how do you do that? Best thing, you have a PC, you now have a microphone. What you do is use OBS that I will step by step walk you through, and then you can then literally have your clip playing in the background. You can commentate on it, or I send you the fucking capture card I have, and then you hook it all up, hit boppity boo, and then you get it through that way. and then you're good to go. You have everything you need. You have it all. You make better content, and then you're already working on editing. So then you can edit what you want together. Bip, bop, boo. You're good to go. And then your content will be mwah. And then you just need to work on thumbnails. Sometimes your wrestling thumbnails do good. Other thumbnails, those are the ones where it's like you can make a better thumbnail.
That's because outside my wrestling ones, but I could literally just take a picture thinking of like who's gonna be in before I start recording the match and everything. I could literally just take a picture of the screen right when I'm supposed to be pressing the A button on my 360 controller. I can just snap a picture of the freaking people that are in the match, freaking, and just save it to my phone. Then when I'm editing the video, freaking, when I upload it, I could just go into the editor, freaking take the thumbnail from my phone, just bam.
Yeah, and I mean it works. So honestly,
the rest are just auto-generated from freaking whatever YouTube decides to pick.
Yeah, and that's what I'm saying. Like, you know, listen to an educational channel that me and Joseph would definitely create in the future. Listen to our step-by-step guides on how to be a millionaire, and yeah, we'll get you there.
We can make a pretty good live course because you teach people the technical stuff, whereas like I help teach people to help find their voice. I'm very good at helping people kind of figure out like what is your format, what is your point of view, what kind of show should you be making? Because I'm a generalist like that, right? Because I watch, I consume all kinds of content. So I mean, I watch anime, I watch movies, video games, podcasts, comics, books, graphic novels, all of it. Like any kind of shorts now. So any kind of medium, I've had a hand in it, and I know it well enough. So that's what I had kind of like with you. Like, you know, you've helped people really get their system going. What I wanted to do is help people understand like what is their purpose, like what are they trying to do, what do they want to say. So I think between you and I, we can probably give people some pretty good feedback.
Dude, I agree. Now we'll do that whenever we do our tech event. I'm
actually a presenter for Skillet, which is a skill sharing platform. I got hired as a presenter to do like different modules for it. As of this episode, I'll probably be fired, but you know, for the time being,
Whenever I think of Skillet, I think of the band.
Thank you. That's what I thought first. When he was saying that, I was like, holy fuck, what? then yeah, you got through it, and then okay. Dude, we could legit like actually do stuff, and like I said, we will when we do our tech events. We will definitely do it. But I bet like whenever I finally get Mess Tech up, we could actually sit there and like make little videos and do one-on-ones with people. Dude, there's a career. One-on-ones help you go from 0 to 100.
If anything, you could end up being a partner with Conjure Media, and then I'll just funnel business to you to help people set up the technical stuff.
See? Business with business, it works.
Something I randomly thought about asking you is if you had seen anything of that Civil War movie that came out earlier in the year or last year.
Okay. Not the Captain America one. You're talking about the one with
the journalist
Jesse Plemons?
Yes.
Yeah. No, I haven't seen it. Although I have respect for it because the filmmaker really didn't want to make like one side the obvious bad guy and one side the obvious good guy. So he made Texas and California be an alliance. I'm like, all right, good move, director.
That somehow had such a freaking massive force. They freaking even with freaking the president's forces was literally shrunken down because a lot of his forces had surrendered apparently off screen at one point, and they mentioned that during one part of the movie. It was literally just a freaking small force of soldiers, whoever fanatical soldiers left in the Secret Service that's pretty much defending Washington. And meanwhile, you got these freaking Western forces guys that literally have a freaking massive army, like a whole shit ton of jets and freaking ground-based vehicles and all these soldiers. And these guys just freaking just steamrolling through freaking DC. And like, I don't know,
what movie is this?
Civil War.
Oh, okay.
Literally, you can tell they didn't want to make any sides freaking the bad guys because you literally have freaking the Western Forces guys just literally gunning down freaking people left and right, even when they really shouldn't have to because of the rules of engagement and everything. They literally light up the freaking presidential limousine. When people stepped out, I could excuse the guy, armed freaking Secret Service guy, freaking that literally just whipped out his gun, but not the unarmed lady, just like literally trying to surround, and they just double tapped her ass. All the freaking Secret Service lady that was literally trying to negotiate with the soldiers that made it into the White House, and they just freaking shot her ass, freaking without hesitation.
This is going to be very, very, very random, but I used to have this idea for a TV show that was always swimming through my head. And as time goes on, it's actually gotten more relevant because the premise was it was always filmed on like phones or cameras. And it was about this guy who just wanted to document some of his friends who are like modern day Robin Hoods, who they don't steal, they just counter steal. So if someone had been wronged, then they steal on behalf of the victim to try to like, give justice back. But one of the episodes, which has nothing to do with that, by the way, was everyone gets together in the center of town to play like imaginary gunfight, where everybody goes like bang, 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 bang. And the rules of this, by the way, people actually wanted to play this. There's actually like rules that would actually make this viable, which is number one, in order to kill somebody, you have to make eye contact and you say bang first. So if we both go bang and I said it first, you go, oh, you got me. And so you can actually like cover a corridor by just pointing your weapon and just going bang, 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 bang. Because if anybody steps into it, they get hit with a shot. And if you wanted a machine gun, you don't go bang, bang, bang. You go rat-ta-ta-ta-ta-ta-ta-ta-ta-ta-ta-ta. But the joke of the episode is that somebody comes in and is playing the role of a Terminator, which no one has ever done in like the 12 years they've been doing these shootouts. And everyone's taking it seriously. So this guy's going around like bang, 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 and everybody else is like, what do we do? We can't stop him. So they're trying to figure out some imaginary solution to the guy who's imaginarily playing the Terminator. So that's another objective that I have way down the line. But yeah, it just reminded me of that.
Depending on what Terminator he is, they should have just used pipe bombs.
Those slowed him down, but it didn't stop him.
I also don't know how
what actually happens in the episode. What actually happens in the episode is they go into this laboratory where this guy is like pretend being like this mad scientist. He's like, I've been developing this technology for years. And he pulls out like the RoboCop suit. So one of friends, once you get into the suit, there's no going back. Says, I'm ready for it. And they just imaginary like suit him up as RoboCop. And then the imaginary goes out and goes toe to toe with the Terminator. And by the way, there was actually a Sega Genesis game called RoboCop versus Terminator. It was fucking gnarly. It was the bloodiest Sega Genesis game next to Slaughterhouse.
There's like all kinds of like Terminator and versus RoboCop crap out there. There's like a whole comic book series and everything.
I believe it.
I'm gonna piss so many people off. I've never seen the Terminator, and I've never seen anything about RoboCop.
I can't take this anymore. We have to start having movie night, dude.
Like I know, like people are like, on the Sports Center. Yes, the Terminator. Yes, have you seen a movie? No. I also never seen the Predator.
Are you?
I grew up with Supernatural, Charmed, Garfield, and fucking that one movie with people. Pride and Prejudice. That's it.
I'm gonna defend Jordan here because he's the one that actually drives towards tornadoes. So I wouldn't call him sheltered, but we gotta get you cultured. We gotta get you some movies, bro.
You know what? I actually agree. I actually have been starting to watch actual movies. Now, granted, they're both Adam Sandler movies. So, one was Kevin Hart. But I actually started trying to watch the movies. I'm trying to figure out what movies I need to watch and which ones are actually entertaining to me. But I'm trying to start watching some good classic movies, like anything before 19 or anything before 2000. I'm trying to watch some of them. Just my time variance still kind of hard because.
Have you watched The Matrix?
No.
Okay, there's lots of movies that I would recommend, but for me, your first stop is The Matrix. That one is an absolute must-watch because The Matrix is more than a movie. It's a philosophy, and it's a movie that if you were to watch it now and then watch it in 5 years later, you would feel like you're watching a different movie because as you grow and your view of the world changes, it changes the meaning of The Matrix. So it's really important for basically every living creature on the planet to watch The Matrix. It's I stand very firmly on that ground.
Okay.
But a movie that you guys might think is pretty dope. It's not like in my face. I actually haven't even seen it yet. I've just seen a couple of clips lately. This one totally went over my head. It was called Battle Los Angeles, and it's about this alien.
I've seen it.
You've seen it? Now that movie is probably one of the most like authentic movies in terms of representing the Marines, how the Marines would deal with the situation. A lot of people slept on that movie because they were like, "What is this battleship but on land? Who cares?" But it turned like that movie was actually like legit. They really put a lot of thought into how they show the point of view of the characters. So that wouldn't be such a bad watch either. But that one's way, way, way further down the list of recommends.
Okay.
The Battleship movie wasn't that bad either. I like the Battleship movie.
I'll say I will definitely watch the. I'm trying to think of the ones I can guarantee. I would definitely watch The Matrix because Brittany actually does like The Matrix, so I'll definitely be able to watch that. And
Don't
then
watch the new one.
I won't. I'll watch the original one because I'm pretty sure I have the red pill, blue pill nonsense. So I'll watch that one.
Yes.
And then I will watch Red versus Blue, that final episode thing. Those are the two things I'm going to try to focus on this week. I'll try to get those done.
So
and I will watch them.
Real quick about the fourth Matrix. So you could say that there's 5 Matrix movies if you count the Animatrix, and personally, I think it's worth doing that. So the Matrix was a planned trilogy, but part 2 and part 3 didn't resonate with people because it got a little bit too much into philosophic territory, and the tension wasn't there. But honestly, they're still worth watching. Now, the Matrix 4, it was stated very clearly and with zero ambiguity whatsoever, which is saying a lot because there's a lot of ambiguity in the Matrix. Lana Wachowski's did not want to make it. Lana Wachowski was basically forced to make it. She was under threat that if she didn't make it, then Warner Brothers would go ahead and make the movie without their consent, without the Wachowskis' consent. And there's actually a scene in the movie that states this in the most clear terms that any metatextual movie has ever stated. And once I realized that, the rest of the movie was fucking hysterical. It's quite literally taking the piss out of Warner Brothers, taking the piss out of remakes, taking the piss out of the whole idea of resurrecting the movie in the first place. It's hysterical. And then the second half of the movie actually moves the mythology forward in some interesting ways, which I don't want to get into, but you have to go into the Matrix 4 with the right mindset. If you don't, you're going to hate it.
Okay. Well, I think I'm definitely a little bit too far away from trying to watch the Matrix 4. I'm just saying what I will try to do this week. Yeah. And when I say this week, I mean I have a 38-hour shift coming up, and I need to stay up. So I will at least have time to watch one movie, and I'm going to use it as Matrix.
I'm sorry, 38 hours. I guess I can squeeze in a movie. Like I feel for you. Like 38 hours is a long time to be awake, dude.
Okay, so it is. So real fast. So I had to help deliver pretty much a fucking tank to Colorado. And for one, it could only go 65 miles an hour, and that fucking sucked. But this vehicle was on the Discovery Channel. And this vehicle was well documented in history. This vehicle got to see one of the biggest tornadoes ever and got to go through one of the biggest tornadoes ever. It's been dead for over almost 10 years, and they finally rebuilt it, and we were the first people to be able to drive it. And top that, we had to drive it across the state. So I had to just drive for over 26 hours straight with no sleep, with no stops. I had to drive 26 hours straight with just bathroom breaks and coffee. I was up for over 50 hours. I'm still a little loopy. I just got back about 24 hours ago, and I slept 12 of it.
You're young. You can handle this stuff now. But by the time you're in your 30s, bro, you can't keep it up. This is great, like character building stuff, but you've got to transition out of this by the time you're in your mid 30s.
Oh, trust me, I'm trying. Me and Brittany had a whole conversation about it. We have a plan for the future of the company, but for like where we are right now, it's like I just have to deal with this a little bit longer. But the reason why I brought that up is because of this 38-hour shift I'm about to go on. The problem is I'm taking 3 shifts back to back to back, and those 3 shifts are all solos shifts. So I have to be the dispatcher. I have to be the coordinator. I have to be the person who answers the phones. I have to be the driver. I have to be everything on these 38 hours. So with these 38 hours I have to be on, that's why there's not a lot of time to fit a movie in between, because like I have to be alert, I have to be focused, and I have to be doing stuff. More likely I'm on the side of the highway, or I'm here in the office trying to finish up the paperwork I didn't do while I was on the side of the highway. So that's where I went to, well, yeah, I'll try to squeeze in a movie in the 38 hours. That's where the squeezing in part came in. But yeah, no, I plan to phase out of it by the end of next year of no longer having to do the fucking long shit. Now, it's an opportunity of a lifetime. No one usually offers you, say, hey, without paying any money, do you want to be a part of driving a historic piece of history for the storm chasing community and be one of the first people to drive it and deliver it? Do you want to do it? It's like, why would I say no? Why would I fucking say no to that? So we got everything. We got the drone out. We got the cameras out. We got everything out for this. My drone almost flew into a fucking car driving past. It was so windy out in the middle of Kansas, but it was fun. But yeah, I don't plan to do any 30-hour. Only time I want to do it is charity. But for driving, no. Streaming 24 hours, hop me up, baby. Let's do it. Driving? Nah, I'm 25 and I want out. My heart can't take it. I'm somehow very, very, very okay. But I'm gonna collapse one day. Yeah. I'm just gonna be doing it and it'd be like, come on, mama. Come on, mama. Tell her the mistakes I did. But no, it's all awesome. But no, I'm gonna try to watch movies. Because it's not the fact that it's weird, but it's everyone I talk to. I hang with a lot of older people. And so these older people are like, hey, you must have seen this movie. I'm like, no. They're like, oh, well, have you seen this movie? No. They're like, were you one of those special kids that got kidnapped while they were little? I'm like, what the fuck, Grandma?
If you were, you would have had lots of time for movies. Is that why you didn't see him? Everybody's got to get kidnapped sooner or later, right? I went to school, right? So I was in prison part-time for the first, 12 years of my life. That is
true. This is where Rumble and me are going to get along, because I hate the school system, but I also think it's needed. I'm gonna go in this rant. I'm gonna go to hell for this. So here's the problem: is I think the school system is fucking stupid. It's the worst thing ever, and it's a scam. On that same note, stay in school.
I agree.
Because you do agree. Because here's the thing is, school does teach you a good amount of things you will learn. So school for a certain time period is so fucking good, and you should stay in school if you can, and if you can afford it. Mm-hmm. With that also being stated, school's a huge fucking scam. I asked a guy, graduation happened about a month or two ago, and I asked this person, what did you learn just by chance? I've never been to school. What did you learn this year? He literally told me nothing. He said what he learned was how to put numbers in a fucking box. I own a company, and you know what? I never had to fucking put numbers in a goddamn box. Yep. Okay? He's sitting there telling me about, I took this degree, I learned about the arts, but I don't plan to do anything with it.
Okay. Look, I don't think I'm picturing it the way you're saying it, because I'm picturing the most literal, like, Sesame Street number going in a box.
No, he was talking about when you put X and Y and all this stuff. The X and Y stuff is important to learn, but you learn that in the main school system. But college, it's a fucking scam. There's nothing about college that's not a scam.
When I was doing the Debutify podcast, I talked to a lot of guests who obviously had in a lot of areas, and I got to talk to a teacher who I have a lot of respect for. And the thing that she said that always stuck with me and just made sure that I was having some kind of level-headed take towards the education system, which I do have a loathing for, is that kids need structure early on. And school provides that structure. So if it's done well, then school can be a wonderful thing for kids to learn and either work in that system, or if they find that the system doesn't really fit, and then they start veering off and then eventually get pulled out. So we have to have it. It's a necessary evil. But every day that I wake up on this earth, I am still confronted by intrusive thoughts of things that I went through in elementary school and high school and college and workplace and basically everything. And
Yeah.
that takes a lot of energy out of me, and I don't know how to stop it. I guess it's just part of living, right? So I guess it's just something that we writers have to hold on to. Otherwise, we can't. No one's going to read our stuff if we're writing about happy people, right? We have to write about people who've been through reality. So I guess I'll be as thankful as I can under the circumstances. But what I will say for it, instead of some kind of like massive change where we knock all the buildings down and try to build a new system up, we, in the interest of incremental change.
I think Joseph's thing froze.
I think so too. I don't think his computer liked the idea of him talking about a positive change for the school system.
My internet went out, so.
Okay, yeah. As soon as you start talking positive,
for like a minute, and it looked like you two were just listening so intensely, and I thought, they've never paid me that kind of attention. Something must be wrong. I mean, just like, both of you paying that kind of attention at the same time, something went wrong. So I'll just say like, kids just need to have more choice going through a school. At the very least, you should have at least a couple of classes that you pick, that you choose, that you like. And I think that would have make a pretty significant difference. And not only making kids happier, which God forbid we make that a fucking priority, but also to like, I feel like kids feel like they have some agency and would actually transition better into high school and college where electivity increases. So I think that's really important, is take something that works later on and integrate it sooner.
I do agree with that, especially with like letting them choose like one or two, not even two, like let them actually choose what they're taking.
Also, it'd be nice if they'd be more specific on which majors would actually be freaking beneficial to go for it, instead of just trying to pick a major and then freaking hope that freaking works out.
Well, I agree. See, I agree. But I think that's also like on the students a little bit, because they have to also do some research for themselves. I think the knowledge should be given to them much better. But for crying out loud, we don't even teach kids how to do their taxes. We don't teach people how to properly do your taxes and all this stuff. Now, granted, we have W-2 jobs, so you really don't need to. But in that grand scheme of things, like the school system in the older generation. Not older generation, but I don't know grade systems. But like high school, I feel like they should start letting you go, okay, you get 3 classes to pick. What are those 3 classes? You have 2 mandatory classes, history and math. You have 3 classes you could take. Here are your 3 classes. What do you pick? And then you pick those classes. I don't think the parents should be involved in that. And then with college should literally be judged on the classes you take, the amount of money you pay for those classes. Not amount of money you pay, but like if you only need 2 classes, you'd be able to go to college for those 2 fucking classes. You should not have to sit there. And not just my opinion. You should not have to do it. I've never been in school. All of you, fucking roast me in the comments. I don't care. I'm successful by being myself. That's fine. I learned myself. Maybe if I was in school, I would be smarter. I'm not. I'm not smarter. I'm the way I am. I be taught by these guys every day. But, in like college, if you go to college, and most people repeat their college days. And they're not their college days. They're education for college. You should be able to go to college and say, hey, I want to learn in math, history, and archaeology, because that's what I want to learn. Okay, it's going to be $3,000 a year for each of those classes, so it's $9,000 $9,000 for the year or for the semester, or however it's judged. I'm not saying that price is accurate either. It's probably not even close to it, but that's what it should be. If you're going there for archaeology or history or learning how to be a mathematician or being or you just want everything, you should be able to mark every little thing on there and go learn for that. But I'm also not in the school system. I don't know how it all works. I don't know.
Jordan, did you at least graduate high school?
I've never been to a school. I'm pretty sure I told you. I'm pretty sure we talked about it on the podcast. I have never been to a school. I have never had a school education. I've never got taught a single class in school. I've literally never been to a school. I was self-taught everything I've learned because I was dyslexic and I still am, and I have things like ADHD that doesn't help my focusing. And so I self-taught myself everything that I learned because I couldn't understand when my mom was trying to teach me or my dad was trying to teach me or my siblings were trying to teach me. I couldn't understand how they were able to read. The dog went to the park. I couldn't understand how they were able to read that. I just thought they remembered the line. So then that's what I would do. I would listen to them read, and then I would just repeat everything they said. And that's just how they were like, okay, you're learning. I was like, no, fuck, I'm not. So, but that's how I had to learn until I realized, oh, fuck, I can't read the magic card. Oh, how do I know what this effect does? So now I just go to everyone going, this. And they're going, you draw a card, you dumb fuck. Can't you read? No. Oh, I'm so sorry. No, it's draw a card. And I'm like, no, you don't have to change. Just I just don't know. So, I mean, that's how I was taught. But I didn't go to a school. Maybe if I went to a school, it would have been better. I don't know. That's just the way I am. So I'll be done with my rant before we get canceled.
By the way, if it gets to the point where like my internet just starts cutting in and out as I progress with like, doing stuff, I'm just quitting media. I'm just gonna throw my computer out the fucking window.
Not the new one. You can sell it.
No, the new one. I'm fucking done with it.
The computer don't control your internet.
I don't care. I'm doing it anyways. I'm tired of relying on technology. I'm just gonna get a typewriter and I'm just gonna write softcore porn. Okay, so I heard I think like 28 to 32% of your rant, but I got the gist of it, and I went through school, elementary school, high school, college, and most of what I do that makes a difference in the world was all self-taught. Mm-hmm. So I started doing Flash animations when I was like in the 6th or 7th grade, and all my friends loved it, and they all wanted me to, every time we come up with a funny idea, so I'm like, Joe, yeah, Flash. I'm like, oh, great, yeah, I'll go to spend 20 hours to make you happy. My college program, we knew it wasn't a lucrative program because it was an English literature program that specialized in comedy. By that I mean it was a comedy program. So it was about teaching how the industry works. It was about proper formatting of your script. And it was about learning some of the techniques that go into comedy that doesn't really like. And I need you guys to nod your head more because otherwise I'm gonna think I fucking the thing again. So sorry, but I'm not trying to control you guys like puppets. But I'm paranoid and schizophrenic here. So my college program was wonderful. I loved it. I had some difficulty with it, but with some of the students, and I rubbed some of the teachers some of the wrong ways a couple of times. So I wasn't a perfect student, but I speak very highly of the comedy program even to this day. Mm-hmm. And but okay. Now I'm getting more concerned.
I'm just trying to make okay.
Thank you. I appreciate it, but
okay.
I'm always careful of what I wish for. It's my animation and my editing, my producing, my writing. Most of my stuff that I do that makes a difference in the world was self-taught. And so, yeah, I'm with you. I'm just not a fan of school. I am a fan of classes, though. I like the idea of going to, maybe it's like a Tuesday evening and I'm in a spin class or pottery class or something. I don't know. That stuff I really like, but the idea of like the structured thing where you just like, 4 or 5 classes every day, 5 days a week. The best thing that it does is transition people into that next phase of working a 9-to-5 job, which many of us just aren't a good fit for. I know I'm not, and I've tried with sincerity to be a good fit for it.
I self-taught myself how to write freaking things when I started writing like fan fictions, Don't Ask Freaking, and I also self-taught myself like used to know how to edit videos and stuff. And freaking rest in peace, Flash. Also, by the way.
Yeah, that loss hit me pretty hard.
Harder than your drawings. But I think that kind of just proves the point there, is that the things we want to learn, we find the way to learn it. And if we had a way to sign up for a classroom mindset, of some sort without having the whole fucking nonsense of school. And I know there's programs now. That's not what I'm saying. I'm talking about the school system specifically. With that, it's like if we let the people growing up, if let's say you were a web designer, and that's what you went to the school for in high school, for web designer, but there's an animation class right down the hall. You could not just walk over there and take it. You would have to get consent and permission, all this nonsense, refinance, whatever. You should be able to say, hey, if I will lose this web designer degree right here, I will lose this for my grades, but I want to be transferred over there and make it for the lost time that I lost over there instead of being here, so I can actually do something I want to do. And then you go over there and you can start educating yourself. And then if you're like halfway in going, I like web designing better, you go back to it and say, I want to lose all my progress here and go back over there, and I will be fine starting over again. Because that is a choice I feel like you can make. And it's still your money. You're still having to refinance and repay for it. That's fine. But at least then you are in control of the things that you want to teach and learn or not teach yourself. It's the things that you want to be taught that will actually give you the benefits of a school system that you can get. And I feel like, I know that's given a lot of like picking and choosing. 5 people can be in class this day, but 4 are the next. Is like, yes, but it's at least then when someone teaches, there's nothing worse than trying to teach someone who doesn't want to be taught. And that's been the one thing that I've learned.
Yeah, because they'll bring the class down.
Exactly. You know, and I see these shows all the time where it's like, you know, someone's trying to teach a class and everyone's like, fucking boring. And it's like, that shouldn't be the response. If you're there to learn, I understand like history is boring. That's fine. They make enough documentaries. Just go on Netflix. But
you know, just play Assassin's Creed.
Honestly,
you got the Cliff Notes.
Yeah. And whenever you want to kill yourself, just hop in a bush. I guess
no. That's the only thing that you do if you want to live.
Oh, my bad. Sorry.
Yeah. And when it comes to like World War I and II, just play freaking Call of Duty and Battlefield.
Honestly, but see, there's ways to learn your history. Just give them, hey, watch this or read this or educate yourself on this, and I'll see you in a week. Let me know what you've learned in that time.
Just wait until like virtual reality, because virtual reality is going to be one of the main touchstones of culture soon. I don't know about too soon, but it's coming. And I think we're actually going to move towards a much more empathetic future once people can actually put on their headsets and experience a lot of the stuff in history and just like what it must have been like to go through some of these horrific events. It's not going to be fun, but I think to gain that perspective, it can be an exceptionally powerful tool. So like, I mean, we all like, you know, I started it. Then I did a lot of 9/11 jokes on that AI episode, but we were also there, right? Like, it's not just like we're mean trying to just like poke fun at something. We also understand that people need release and catharsis. And in order to get true catharsis, you have to extract that from difficult subjects. You're not going to get catharsis from fart jokes. Mm-hmm. So we do this with love, and not malice. You know, but I also recognize that if we were to actually like put on headsets and experience what it might be like to be in that building, that would change my perspective, 100%.
100.
So I think we can move towards a very empathetic future that will allow us to not just feel things that had happened in the contemporary sense, but throughout history. There's just the horrors that have gone on in the past. We can't even wrap our head around how shitty we were up until this point. But virtual reality can serve as a really effective tool for that. I'll give it back to you. But one of the things that I wanted to say is that by the time we get into high school, I would have loved it if like before lunch you take your essentials, so your mathematics, your writing, like the functional stuff that we can use, and then after lunch is all like your electives. All the things that you're just interested in doing. Like, I feel like learning geography today, or I feel like doing this, or I feel like pursuing that. And if people don't care, then they just go home. You did your essentials in the first half of the day. You don't even stick around for lunch. Just go home, so that all the people who want to learn can actually get together and learn or participate in extracurricular activities. And also it bothers me too how like time sensitive it is to try to get students through the system. I feel like there needs to be no stigma involved in if a kid needs to be held back or just feels like, look, I'm sorry, but I'm not ready for grade 11 this or grade 12 that. To, maybe I need to be in that high school level for a little while longer. I would think that kids could actually benefit from a lot of experience if, say, for instance, elementary school were also populated by, say, like immigrants who are also learning English at that level too. And so your classroom was a little bit more of a mixed environment where you were gaining perspective from other grown-ups, from other teenagers, from the elderly as well. And the thing going through my mind, that's going through everybody's mind is, wasn't that opening up to predators? And like, yeah, but you know what? Let's not, like, if we're not just going to sit in a room and lock ourselves in just because of the predators, okay? If anything, we're actually going to be able to catch the predators a lot easier this way. So I'm not going to like modify my system just based off the predators. Okay, I'm sorry.
No, dude, that's a very good point, because the thing is, you go to Walmart with your kids, and there is someone sitting in the fucking kids aisle that doesn't have a kid and being like, "Oh, I'm just shopping for little Billy." No, he's shopping for your little Billy. So, I'm sorry, I was trying not to make a joke, but it was right there.
Okay.
But
it just came very natural.
I hate it. I really do. But
I think there'd be a lot more accountability too if adults were actually there to like protect kids and minimize some of the bullying that happens when kids are left to mess with other kids. And you have one stressed out adult who's trying to wrangle up to like 30 kids, 25 of whom care more about Fortnite.
No, I think honestly that wouldn't be a bad system. Now, obviously, once again, we don't have any power at the school system, and honestly, that's a lot of politics. I wouldn't want to do it. But in the same boat, I think that would work. And once again, not shaming people for having to take a certain class back. That's why we're so into online schools now, is because we can not have shame, going in, because we can use filters and all this stuff or not show our face. But I think that it's just need to be more publicized, because like I would love to go back into the school system at least somewhat and at least say, okay, I went through high school. But if it's not for a video at this rate, it's like I don't want to go through all that nonsense and ridicule of being like, you never been to school? No, I was fucking retarded, and I can say that because I am. So I'm classified under special needs, I think, so it works. But it comes down to the whole situation of I don't want to go back there, because what stops me from being a predator? Nothing. I'm over 20. I'm over 21, and I'm in a school. You have constant stories about how teachers will sleep with their younger audience. They're content creators now. Awesome.
Kinda, right?
They
like
kinda
they are the
They're-
audience.
They're
so
the
I
class
kinda,
of entertainment. So, but it's like, nah. I think I'm just gonna end up repeating the same thing you said. And to get off the school subject, I just really think that I agree. That's kind of all I can say with it before I want to get canceled into. I beep all this out if I can. I just go for that whole line. I spoke beep. Just everyone nodding their head, and then bring in Chris Hansen beep. No, we went through the whole episode without saying a Chris Hansen joke, by the way.
Honestly, freaking kids have it easy these days. Freaking when I was in high school, middle school, and high school, freaking I had to carry around this backpack with heavy ass textbooks, freaking that were like this freaking thick, and I had to carry like 3 or 4 of those motherfuckers at it everywhere as I went. Freaking 6 or 7 o'clock in the morning to 2 or 3 in the afternoon.
Hold up, kids don't have to carry textbooks anymore?
Oh, because they get all these fancy computer technology crap that they get to use instead of freaking, so they don't have to carry around textbooks and shit anymore. They have to have like
except their eyes are all
laptop
going to be
and
burnt
tablets.
out after being raised looking at screens.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sure they probably still use textbooks and shit, but I've been out of school for I've been out of school for like 12 years now.
So yes, because I work really close to a lot of the colleges here in the near towns, because of they locked themselves out a ton. They need tires changed because they were never taught how to change tires. So I work with them a lot. I get to see their textbooks. They carry 3 books around. One is whatever they're studying. One is for mostly history, and the other one is for I think the other one is for like specific math questions, like those like geometry questions and stuff like that where you need visuals to look at. They carry those 3 ones around mainly, and then they carry like a notepad. like an actual like notebook to write stuff down in, and then they carry their school issued tablet or their Chromebook.
I just
I
remembered
miss.
my favorite thing about school was whenever I would be asked like a math question and it says show your work, and I just like, okay, I thought maybe it could be this, so I wrote that down. Like it wasn't enough to give the answer. I had to like prove the answer as well. Oh God.
You had to explain the Pythagorean theory. I forget how do you say it. I think you had to explain it.
Pythagorean theorem.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's kind of funny because so I never really had the whole show your work thing growing up because that's how I would naturally do it anyways. But there was one that I could not understand. It was like a weird triangle thing, and you had to do a math question in a triangle, and then in the triangle, and then in the triangle. So whatever your answer would be for the one question would end up being a part of your next question. And so I had to do this like triangle format of what my mom was trying to teach me. I could not my dyslexia would not let me comprehend it. And so I found her cheat sheet and I did it. And then when it said show your work, I no joke just wrote down show your work. And I gave it to my mom. And my mom was like, "Huh, it's kind of funny how all these questions are right one block over." I was so fucking dyslexic, I could not count how many blocks I was in. So I just skipped one completely and then put the right answer in. If you would have shifted it literally just one back, it would have been perfect. But I didn't. And because my dyslexia couldn't get that cooperated. And yeah, my mom found out I cheated. And I was like, I can't lie. I fucked up.
I kind of want to ask this, and then I don't know if we want to start wrapping up because we've been at this for like
to.
It's just so you know, when we message each other or like you're reading stuff on Discord, like it's text, right? So what is it you're doing exactly to comprehend the words these days?
So I know a lot of people will say just work harder and stuff like that, but so a lot of the stuff, because my brain can remember words, I can't properly read the word. So like with even just my work stuff, I can easily read, on duty, off duty. I can easily read that. But it's like with me and your messages, it's like I'm not going to show our messages, but like with that, it's usually I will just copy, paste into Google Translate and then hit play. And that's how I usually will read, especially because I'm usually on the go. So it's kind of an excuse there. But a lot of times I will try to read it. And then because I don't do good at piecing motion into a sentence. So like if you sit there and say like your last message for just the example, I'm getting everything. I'll read that and then be like, I'm getting everything. I think that's pretty obvious of what he means. He's getting everything. But then you go... Yeah, and then you go like, back, and then assuming I'm pretty sure you meant Audacity. I had to put that in Google Translate because my brain was understanding the word Audacity, and I'm pretty sure you meant. And I was like, why wouldn't I say that? And then I went back and saw my typo for the voice text. That's how I usually do it. So Google Translate, pretty much I can copy and paste what was said so I can then read it. That's usually how I have to do it. And I work with it. Like I do better. I have to do paperwork every single day. So I'm writing out stuff. I'm learning how to write certain words. And so I'm learning, but it's such a slower pathway. And I do try, but there also are some situations like I'm lazy. Charles let us know in Discord about his wins and stuff like that. I would copy it, or like your laptop issues. I would hit copy and paste in Google Translate because I would get lost in reading the text and I'll just reread it and then I will forget everything I just read because then I'll have like a mental breakdown being like, wait, no, what was that? Wait, what did you say before that? Wait, did I skip ahead? And then I'll just lose it. So stuff like that, I'll usually do that. But yeah, so
fascinating. I'm impressed and I'm happy to, that we live in a world now that allows you to have creative ways to overcome this. Because I would send you messages and some of our conversations to get lengthier, and I go, "Oh, the fuck is he doing it?" Yeah, I don't exactly take it easy with my prose, so I'm like, he's doing really good for a dyslexic person. I'm like, so in reality, you're having it played. I could make more of a habit of doing voice messages.
No.
Okay, because I kind of don't want to, because I think there's mixed results with it. I remember one time a person at one of my previous roles, he was giving feedback using the voice recording. And aside from the fact that it didn't leave a paper trail, and so I couldn't I would have to have written it down. His tone was like that of a scolding parent, which is an extra layer of grief that is not necessary to the workplace experience. So for those of you who listen to every episode, you probably know which fucking workplace I'm talking about. But the point being is that there are some serious downsides to like the voice messaging thing, but there are also some serious upsides to it too. So I think in the right context, it actually be pretty cool, kind of dope for everybody to just like, we all record our voices and are having like a protracted conversation. So I'm not totally against it, but I'm the writer of the group, right? So I like that I can practice my craft as well as talk to people and say things that are important and necessary to the living of my life and the conducting of my business.
Yeah. And
Also,
yeah, go ahead, Charles.
Welcome to Skull Hunter Podcast, everybody.
I was just gonna say that I also kind of write, but I thought about getting back into writing a fan fiction before the newest Destiny DLC came out.
Sexy
I don't know.
fanfic? Like a
Kinda.
classic fanfic or a sexy fanfic?
It's pretty much, long story short, would have been a fanfic about my main guardian that I play as, coming out to, who is my second guardian, but in her stories, her is a close friend of hers that was basically been like a student. Well, they're
Sexy.
two different completely classes, and my warlock doesn't know if she's gonna die going into the Pale Heart. Because she's long story short about her backstory. She used to have two other guardians that she was close with. They were practically like her sisters, but they were killed early on in my main guardian story. And she's pretty much been she cut herself off from everybody because she didn't want to be close to anybody ever again after she lost her first two close friends. And once she started bonding with this hunter, she came out of her shell and before she goes into the Pale Heart, she wanted to come out to this hunter and be like and reveal that she has romantic feelings for her before she potentially dies. And yes, they
Fucking
do
write
get
it.
it on in the end.
I'm down for the end part, but just just fucking write it. I mean, you're obviously passionate about it, so fucking write it. Use your spare time, write it out, and if you want to release it, release it. If not, fuck it. Literally, I want to hear that part, but just
and make
create
the
it.
ritual surrounding writing more enjoyable. Don't just like sit in the most uncomfortable chair in the most uncomfortable part of your house and just try to grit your way through it. I listen to music. I'm high, not now, but when I write, I like being high. And I like to treat myself to a cup of coffee. So I make the ritual of writing as enjoyable. So just the little details like that make the whole thing more appealing. I actually had to dial back how often I was going to a cafe because I'm like, damn, like even though the other $2 cups of coffee, this shit's still adding up, yo. So I do more writing at home. But hey, lesson learned, right? I still get to go to a coffee shop every couple of days, once or twice a week, if that.
I'm still mad at the laptop that I had a bunch of my MLP fanfics. None of them were anything inappropriate. They were just old fanfics I wrote out, that involved my main character and everything, and some of the adventures he went on and shit like that, and also some wrestling stuff. But I'm mad that the laptop that had all that stuff on there I typed out pretty much is no longer accessible and hasn't been for a long ass time. I was proud of myself with some of those fanfics.
Sorry, dude.
Hit that reset button. Start writing again. I'll be the only person that hasn't written fanfic then.
What do you think of my wrestling shows for? It's pretty much me just writing out storylines and shit.
I never saw it that way. Well, good for you, dude.
And me trying to tell a story with these characters that from comes from all over the place, from Dragon Ball Z, Pokemon, other things and or real life and certain things, and they just end up fighting each other in a wrestling ring and shit happens. And
well, what's pretty cool too is that because your outcomes are not predetermined, that you are actually responding to what happens in the matches to alter your story. So you're actually ceding some of your control to the characters, and they get to have a part of the storytelling as well, which you don't even have in actual like live wrestling with wrestlers. The matches for the most part are predetermined, so because then the writers are like, oh shit, we're screwed. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So it's a very unique thing that can only be done these days.
Most of the time, if we can, mainly like with my major storylines, I have ideas of who I want to win. Hopefully, the game will actually go along with it. But usually, I just I just had whoever have fight each other in these matches, and I'm like, dude, I just let the game freaking do its thing. Because I just do the commentary. I just let the AI beat the shit out of each other until somebody gets a pinfall.
Yeah.
So you're spelling this sex simulator on Steam. There's legit one, and I kind of want to play it.
On Pornhub, Jordan.
Well, no. It's legit. It's only $5. Just saying. I can learn something. So we gotta wrap the show up. But with that kind of being stated, I wanna just go back to even just proving how like even me and Brittany talk. This has nothing to do with my dyslexia. It's just easy. We literally just voice chat because we can hear each other's emotions talking through it. But then we have actual normal conversations as well. But yeah, having normal conversations with people only when I want to make sure people understand the emotion behind it. Because like if Joseph asks, "Hey, can you watch this and tell me what you think?" It would sound much better instead of me going, "Yeah, it's 100%, dude. You should keep going." Or if I actually got in, dude, it fucking sounded awesome, dude. Just keep going with it. I think it's awesome. Keep going ahead with it. And you got this. That's going to sound so much better because you can hear an emotion behind it. And so like certain things I will, even though someone's not doing voice messages to me, I will just immediately like cut in a voice message so they can hear an emotion behind it, so they know like, hey, I'm being serious about this. So I usually use it for that reason if I'm not using that for someone else, or I'm driving. If I'm driving, I ain't trusting voice to text. I sit there, tell people, hello, this is Jordan from Midwestern Rescue. My ETA is about 20 minutes. It'll put, hello, my name is Jordan from Realize. ETA 45 minutes. I'm like, oh, you are a fucking cunt. I don't know how it confused it. Maybe my phone's broken. It's almost 5 years old at this point. Who knows? But okay. I know that's kind of a weird way to wrap up season, etc. I don't know what season it says. YouTube says it's 3. I don't believe that. We had the season, then we had another season, then we had another season. It's a season. It's time to wrap up. Funker could not be here today because he had to go get that milk money. Funker's going to become the new James. I just think that's so ironic. I'm going to make an intro specifically with all of his spots that can be cut out. So I'm going to make a project with the intro of him in it. Now I'm going to save it so he can be cut out. And then just whenever we have a guest on, put clips of them in it. It's going to be a lot of fucking editing, but I just think, you know what? Perfect. To make it where he can be switched out at any point in time. Now when he's in an episode, it'll be like an episode of Seinfeld. But okay. Only thing I got to end this episode out is a classic, gotta find what I looked up in the middle of the episode. We were talking about Temu, and I was on Temu, and I was like, yeah, what could we get for $10? Let me see if this podcast could be an idea. And I found this, and I'm considering.
Really?
I see nothing wrong with it. It's an LED light for Tetris.
Oh, that's the Good Luck Tibetan symbol.
Oh,
and
really?
It's also a dungeon in Zelda. Yeah, well, that's where they got it from. So, I decided I wanted us to do one AI image prompt just to see us out. And here's the prompt I have for us: Skull Hunter Games, CJ the Lone Wolf, Septic Conjurer, Demon Daddy, One Pap Chap, Corn Dog, Seven Souls, and the Architect protesting the Mike Tyson fight on January 6th atop the Twin Towers.
Oh, God.
God is not helping us with this one.
Did you get it generated? Or is it generating?
It's generating.
Okay, so before it's done, can I real fast tell you the description on this light?
Yes, please tell me how they get away with it.
It is a large rhinestone ring neon sign. It's UV powered LED lights for weddings, bedrooms, decor, and USB powered. I'm not for weddings and bedroom decor.
Who would want a fucking light, bright, fucking looking Nazi symbol?
Charles, whenever you get married, I have a gift for you.
Oh, Christ.
Oh,
You can explain to my freaking fiance why that's a thing.
I don't. You can't wait for this photo. It can't be any worse. What? Why are we black?
Oh, Christ.
We have so much bread.
Why is this one so long? Why is that so long? Wait, which one? Which one is me? Which one is me? I'm probably the black one.
Okay. Do you see my mouse?
Yes.
Okay, so there are multiple black people in this picture, so I need you to narrow it down
I
a
think.
bit.
Okay, I think it's that one holding the sign. I think it's that one.
And the red sweater?
No, the other one. It's
This
that
guy.
one. That one.
Okay, so that's you. I'm claiming this guy because his hat seems very conjurer to me.
Ooh, okay.
I think that's Corn Dog.
I think so.
That actually, I get kind of a
Charles.
chap vibe with it a little bit.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. If you look at this guy's face, his face has got kind of a Charles face.
I can see that.
Because we're running out of white people, that would be the architect.
What does it look like as a background from Gmod?
Oh, I thought it was Twin Towers, but we hit January 6th, so I don't know.
And then who do we have left? Demon Daddy. We have to assign Demon Daddy someone.
Demon Daddy, maybe the only one standing different, maybe like the guy in the red.
In the red?
Yeah.
It's like,
You know what? Yeah, you know what? I can actually see it with the expression.
this looks like the kind of picture that freaking rap freaking album would be used.
Oh, Anthony. We need to assign Anthony.
Oh, Anthony.
How about that guy?
Sure. Also,
And
by the way, before we click on this photo, what is the guy sitting on?
Here?
Yeah.
He's sitting on probably another leg. If I had to guess. So now you haven't heard the episode yet, but I can't. I've run out of patience. But at the end of the episode, I added in Amazing Grace, and then I did like a slideshow of some of the images with it.
Oh God.
And so you had your chance. Like it's been like 2 weeks, right?
You know what? That's fair. Hang on.
And but then like I just thought about how long we've been working on the show together, and that I feel accepted here in a way that honestly I have trouble feeling accepted in other friend groups. Some of my friend groups are great, and I feel perfectly fine, but some friend groups I've had challenges. And there was something about that image with Amazing Grace playing in the background that actually made me really thankful to be here and be part of this project, and to know with no uncertainty whatsoever that I've been pulling my weight. So so thank you guys for being a part of my life, and I have only grown in motivation and passion for this, and I'm really looking forward to seeing what is it going to take to get banned off YouTube. Because we have been pushing it and pushing it and pushing it. But seriously, thank you guys for your existence, and it does mean a great deal to me to be a part of this.
Yeah, dude. Thank you. Thank you and Charles. You guys. This is the end. I'm joking. I'm joking. No, that's awesome, dude. And honestly, I still am always gonna be thankful that your team reached out to me and was trying to get me on the podcast, and I ignored them so much because I was like, I'm a fucking gamer with nothing. Why would I be on the podcast? And ever since then, it's been a click, and it's been a hell of a time. And really, like, I can say this about a lot of my friends, and it's like there's not been any down moments like with you, and you would imagine that there would at least be one. I was like, Joseph I don't understand what the fuck he's thinking. No, there has not been one. And we've now known each other for way too long. And so it's like, I've got a passport to go to Canada, dude. Like, I haven't even seen Charles, and he lives in the United States, but I got a passport to go see you. And I still plan on it, but it's just like, nah, this has been one hell of a ride. And I just can't wait to keep going. Like, that's why I should be asleep. I wake up at 3 a.m. every day. I should be asleep, not doing a podcast. I should try to move the podcast time around. I should not be here on Wednesdays, but I look forward to it because the guys I get to hang out with. So because you guys are all amazing and we can do this show and be entertained by each other. Like, that's what runs the show, is us entertaining each other. So
exactly.
That is why this show is great. If we had an audience that's like, you guys are fantastic, but you guys weren't getting enjoyment out of it, I wouldn't be here. I would just stop this show and be like, okay, yeah, the audience like it. Who gives a fuck? If I'm not entertaining the people here, I don't want to do it. So
exactly,
it's been great. Charles, any final words?
Well, freaking, only a couple. You should always know that even all the way back since the days that we met, and I always will be freaking AOT2 for life.
Let's check it. A2, yeah. AOT2 for life, bitches! Unfortunately, Joseph really doesn't understand that. It's a clan tag.
Army of Two.
Yeah, second generation.
Yeah.
Anything else? Anything else before we close out?
I have a new hashtag wallpaper. Those are my final words.
And with that being stated, guys, thank you so much for watching this almost 2-hour episode of Skull Hunter, last podcast ever made. After this, it's the Skull Hunters. And with that, I give you one more dangerous attempt. Amazing Grace, I'm on a fucking chair spinning. Okay, maybe I won't do that. But until then, goodbye, everybody.
Fight me, ninja.
What did he do to you?